which is the main entertaining area, which has the living room, the kitchen, and the dining room. Welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 of our New Orleans luxury condo transformation. And if you thought part 1 was exciting, just wait. There's so much to see. If you haven't watched the first episode yet, please be sure to check it out and let us know your favorite design detail in the comments. Thanks, y'all. We start in this area where this mirror came from Jenny's old house, this kind of Victorian wood mirror. And we've got this flame chair that we upholstered in this fun kind of Pierre Fray boucle. We can't forget that we did whitewash all this brick that was super red when we started, as well as pickled these floors to give this kind of nice, light, bright thing. It's always hard to do it. But once you do it, you're thankful. So let's go on into the living room, which has so many of the old New Orleans charms, like the exposed brick and the big pine wood floors and the super high ceilings and high windows. Right now, I'm just really kind of looking around, absorbing and figuring out, you know, how far to push things or leave them alone, and we'll see what we end up doing. Make the decision whether or not this was going to be the dining room and the living room, but the way the symmetry fell out in the room with this fireplace column, I'm sure that's what it was at one point, we decided to put the TV on the fireplace, which then meant that we wanted a huge sectional to come watch football games and whatnot. So we decided it would be best really to make this kind of a big viewing room as opposed to chopping it up. The first thing we picked was this amazing rose coming floral fabric.
One flower center here and one flower center here.
We did this fun fabric by Pierre Fray, which I always love mixing these kind of modern fabrics on these antique chairs. We found these fun travertine tables from a vintage source that sells on Cherish, that's local. Jenny sent this humongous coffee table. You may remember from previous footage it was yellow with kind of this pattern on it, and the yellow wasn't working. So we had someone come in, sand it, and prime it, and the question has been what to do with it. And I finally just found this wallpaper, which was my original kind of look of what I wanted to do. So what I want to do is order sheets of this wallpaper that's hand painted and put it on the top of the table and then paint the bottom of the table. So this is one of those pieces that's kind of left undone right now. I certainly don't want to keep it this big white coffee table, so let us know what you think about this idea. Up above, we've got this amazing mid-century modern Sputnik-esque light fixture that came all the way from Denmark, and when it got here, we had to rewire it. Milo and Renee made these cornices, and then I came back in and painted them and scuffed them up to make them look old so that we wouldn't have to have drapery rods up at the top, especially when we had a very odd condition. We've got a plumbing pipe coming down as well as the window. Of course, the backdrop for this room is again the whitewashed brick, and then this really fun black and white fabric from Schumacher. It's a linen that has this kind of zigzaggy embroidery on it. I love the idea of playing off of this, you know, organic floral with this black and white Schumacher fabric to give it kind of a real different look. We have this mirror that came from Mac Maison as well. Over here, we've got this really fun swan lamp from Malachite. This was an old secretary that Jenny and I bought at an estate sale years ago, and she knew there was going to be a place down here at some point. This lady was from Neil Auction. I think maybe I paid $20 for her. Then again, once we framed her and got her put up, it's really pretty cool. Over here, we were able to create a small little seating area. Both the table and the chairs came from the auction houses here in New Orleans. This little fun guy that we can put flowers in came from Malachite, so all the fun decorative accessories. And then we reupholstered these chairs in this beautiful, another Pierre Fray silk kind of lavendery color, which picks up on, there's a little bit of a lavendery hue in this in these flowers. And then finally, we decided to go ahead and throw this red color in there. We used another floral. We played off of the geometric, and really just to give it a fun, different kind of vibe. So here we are in the bar area. This was a bathroom, and it was really weird because we're actually below the stair landing. And it's interesting what architects would do way back when is the window just goes right over the stair landing, so it looks all symmetrical from the front of the building. Of course, nowadays we try to make the stair look different, so I always think this is an interesting detail. But there was a sink here and there was a toilet here, and we thought it'd be much more fun to be this little cozy bar nook, and we used this panoramic Ixol paper from Schumacher, which just gives it this fun feel. And again, it was all about getting the architecture right.
This is very important.
This is how they work.
That is a 15-degree angle cut on that.
15 degrees.
Okay, now come over here, take it on this side.
You got a hole in there.
So perfect.
Isn't it perfect?
Sauce hinges. And so by using the wallpaper and using these jib doors, we concealed all of that and created this nook. Another piece from malachite, this fun brass sconce, along with this fun champagne bucket or flower bucket or whatever you want to use it for. And then we found this bar piece from Worthmore Antiques. And it is actually a bar and can fit in lots of wine and glasses and whatnot. And then this top does open up. The guy we bought it from Worthmore, it was actually his piece. And I think the story goes that it was his godmother's, and she dated Bogey. We put this book here because it says A Love Story, Bogey and Me. And so we thought that was kind of fun because she's the one that actually used to own this bar. Coming through here, this was one big laundry room, and we have separated it and made it into separate spaces. First, we come into this little nook right here where we put this fun geometric wallpaper, and I love this photo that Jenny has. I just think it's so fun on this paper. We have this beautiful marble pendant. And then when we open this door, we got this great little powder room here. We used this geometric paper and painted the base the same color. And then to break up the geometric, we put these floral prints on it. So we created this great little sink moment in this powder room where we used this ceramic sink from Watermark with this beautiful little faucet that has these gorgeous marble handles on them. And then we skirted the sink in a Brunswick and Fee fabric to bring together some of the colors from the wallpaper. And then those gold brass sconces, Jenny and I found at an estate sale. We had the custom shades made in the same fabric as the skirt. So here we are in the kitchen, and I think this space rivals the primary bathroom for me as to what we were able to do with it. I think most of what I designed early on all came to fruition in that instead of doing cabinets, we did these little cafe-esque curtains on the bottom, which is a real old detail.
We've got another 1.5 inch of void that's here.
Okay.
That creates the pathway for the curtain all the way across.
Then we use this kind of modern detail of this floating shelf on this side, and then we use these big, thick, beautiful marble slabs.
Oh, look how pretty.
I know, isn't that gorgeous?
That's beautiful.
Then of course we offset this whole thing with this amazing color by Farrow and Ball and these Pierre Frey curtains. We did these fun little stools and this beautiful embroidery. We juxtaposed that with some more modern cabinetry, and then the piece everyone really loves is if we brought cabinets way up there to match the top of the door transom over on this side, how in the world were we going to get up there and store stuff? So we did the fun library ladder detail here. We couldn't use a gas stove that looked old, and so it forced me to think about using an electric cooktop, an electric stove, and how we were gonna make that fit into this more old kitchen with the architecture. So I had to figure out a way to balance it. There were things we found at estate sales, like this old scale, which somehow, somewhere during the renovation, one of the weights went missing. And I really want to find another one because it used to sit perfectly balanced like this. We added these little pictures. This is a little secret. But I was very upset when these got cut in, these electrical outlets. They were not supposed to get cut in, but they did. So I told Jenny we've got to find something to hide them with. Of course, it's not very practical, but they don't use much of plug-in appliances. So when she needs to, she can just take the picture off. And then we use this really fun fern paper, again, pulling in the black and white from the curtains in the living room. We brought it up, over on the ceiling, and then down again on this other side. Here we are in the dining room. Although rather small, I think it came out well. With all of the decorative plates that we put everywhere. We've got a whole lot of them and we still need a whole lot more. We've got this Lazy Susan table, which is kind of fun because you can spin this top. Jenny had this before. I think it's a little bit big for the space, but c'est la vie, it's here now. And then we have these great dining chairs, these antique chairs from Carla Katz. And we upholstered them in this Schumacher toile, which is an old kind of historic print. But then there's always a playful side to it. So I put this amazing Pierre Frey embroidery on the back of it. One of the last little pieces, like I said, I don't think everything's 100% done, is I'd really love to get some curtains on this window, and I'd love to use this Pierre Frey stripe, as I think it would be really dramatic as two panels of the curtains on a beautiful rod, and as you're walking up the stairs, it really provides the backdrop of the space with this big cased opening looking to it like we did down at the office. But let us know what you think of that. To the fourth floor, this is in Milo and Max Genius that we got these really cool panels up here. Here we have the fun little monkey bathroom. This is really a bathroom for kids, and so I wanted to do something that was a little playful. We didn't do much renovation in here. We did simple things like changing out the tile, putting a new glass door on here, changing out the fixtures. And then we left the vanity as is. It's such a tight space. It wasn't a terrible design. We changed out the hardware. These are probably my favorite knobs to use right now, which are the balls from Renovation in unlacquered brass. And we painted it this fun olivey pharaoh and ball color. We put up this Pierre Frey wallpaper, which I just love. It has the best feel to it to me. And I actually love this little print sitting right here, which kind of looks like some of the flowers in there. And then I needed a mirror that had this long, skinny proportion, and these mirrors are hard to find. So I finally found this one from Ballard Designs. I didn't love the gold, so there's this great little wax gold stuff that I came up here, and I just kind of touched it up a little bit because it was a super, it still has some orange to it, but it was a super orangey gold. Of course, wallpaper can always make the difference. So now we'll take you down into the kids' bedroom. So coming into the kids' room, this is kind of our ode to the orphanage with all these sweet little twin beds with an initial for all of Jenny's kids. We painted it this light blue color, and then since some of the kids are a good bit older now, we didn't want it to be too sweet, so we offset it with this darker gray color that has a little bit of an undertone of blue. And then of course the darker trim also brings together the black beds. These are fairly inexpensive beds from Crate and Barrel Kids. We put these little lamps in between the beds, and those came from Etsy. This artwork, because I thought it was really fun to bring together the primary colors, Jenny had sent this one down, and then we found this one, and then this is a little trick. This one actually came from either Target or Walmart, and then I took the primary colors and painted over it, so that's a quick little trick, and I really love the way this wall came out. And then we use these fun globes that are kind of playful from Visual Comfort, and we put the star wallpaper up on the ceiling and then brought it down onto this other side of the room. And then we use this little Schumacher. It almost looks like a gingham, but it's actually little stars. And we did this fun little way. We use these unlacquered brass rods both at the top and the bottom, again to deal with the fact that we have these slanted walls. There's the church steeple that's getting redone out there. So it really is a little bit kind of storybook-esque up here. So this is the kids' room. All right, so here we are in the last room of the condominium, and this is the guest room. Again, this is where architecture becomes so important. We had this amazing window in here that was this very weird shape, and then the room actually extended about another 5 feet this way. And it made it very awkward for furniture placement. There was a whole series of bookshelves over here that was really weird. So the first thing we did was actually add this wall. And then we added these closets where we've got tons of closet storage for guests in here. The other thing is that there was an opening on the other side of this room that went into the kids' room, and the kids' room was cut by a third because it was a big closet. And instead of having to invest in more art, we did those kind of fun floral pieces from Crown and Colony. So here we have this really cozy, intimate guest room. And of course, one of the more fun pieces was what we got from Neil Auction, was this cornice piece. She says sit above, right? So you'll have the arch this way, and then she'll come out above.
Lindsay, are you still there with us?
Great, this Pierre Frey fabric along with the Schumacher fabric, these really fun tassels. We do have a workable shade behind here. And Jenny found these really fun old toile beds. They are not the same, and we really didn't care because we thought they were pretty. And then we used the Schumacher Matuk bedding. And then I wanted to have kind of a more clean line bedside table, so we did these bedside tables from Serena and Lily. These lamps we found at Malachite, and these fun shades of Venice. Very European bedroom from Mac Maison. Again, I didn't want the room to get so frumpy and old, so we did this more modern fixture up here. And then this is one of my favorite artists from one of my favorite galleries from Cole Pratt here at New Orleans, and this is an artist by the name of Bucci, and I just love his work, his beautiful work. All right, so here we are in the guest bathroom. We put these, I love these console sinks. They're very Parisian. Again, we use the Waterworks faucets and the Waterwork mirror. I actually think these mirrors could use a little something else. They need almost like a painted border or something on them. We didn't want to tear out all this tile of the shower because it's not terrible, but it wasn't awesome either. So we came up with this way, matching the drapery treatment from the bedroom, where we use this little gingham check and this border piece to make the shower curtain to cover the shower. And because we have this slanted wall, again, being up in the 4th floor, because we're up in the mansard windows of the condominium, we figured out how to use these escutcheons up on the ceiling with a hook, with the chain, which then carries this unlacquered brass shower curtain. And then we did get this window fixed, but when the drapes came in, they were measured too long, so we're trying to figure out how to raise them. This drives me crazy every time I look at them, so we gotta get them up. But it's, even though it's a bathroom and it may not get opened much, again, it does give you a pretty cool view out of the city. And if you look this way, you can see downtown with our Superdome. So this is it. This is the luxury condo. Hopefully we can get those last things figured out and finish it up 100%. We're almost there.